Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers until the end of the year. We hit it 20k, so thank you all, and subscribe to help me out there, help the algorithm, spread the word around. So let's get going, guys. And I wanted to basically do a quick video talking about the F111 and the Su-24 in a general way, specifically the interdictor bombers, right? If you don't know, an interdictor bomber is a type of aircraft that are normally meant to be a counter to, or not exactly a counter, but another alternative at least for a tactical bomber, right? So basically a bomber that can deploy nuclear weapons even, or even just normal bombs or guided stuff, anti-ship, anything like that, but flying very low to the ground. These aircraft already have their way into the game with the Tornado IDS, right? But with the imminent addition at some point, for the F111 and Su-24, because those aircraft are going to be added at some point no matter what, right? We kind of have a question to do here. Do these aircraft have a place in the game? Because to be honest, I think it is a very old subject that a lot of people want bombers to be added, specifically strategic bombers from the Cold War, but they don't have much of a place, right? The last ones that we normally have in the Soviet Union and in the US, which are both the bigger ones, if I'm not mistaken, the Tu-4 and the B-29. And that's pretty much it. And that's like a World War II design, right? And we did not have any more additions after that. But that I can understand, because even if you add something like a Tu-95, maybe a B-52, something along those lines, they're basically going to be dead on arrival, right? Even though they are very old aircraft and they can be added with, not that that matter, but they can be added with basically a very low PR, maybe 9 point something, right? And a lot of countermeasures or something like that. It would still be very easy to destroy something like that, right? And not even that, the maps just don't have the place for it. So it's problematic. I still think that it has a place in game. I think the maps, maybe for these aircraft, it should be kind of fixed for the bigger maps, and maybe even have a higher, especially that, a higher altitude spawn, because I understand, okay, the Tu-4 already has, for example, a 5,000 meter normal spawn, right? But it's too low, man, for these aircraft. Interceptors or aircraft that will destroy these bombers, they need to have a work to be done, right? But even then, with all of these changes, if they add bigger maps, more objectives, if they add a higher spawn point, the strategic bombers will probably perish very quickly as well. That's just the modern day combat for you. Strategic bombers, they're normally not very effective in a normal way as they used to be, right? Just due to the interceptors and performance of the aircraft and radar missiles and stuff. But then, obviously, with the addition of, radars into the arena of the Cold War, a lot of countries actually decided to use the ground clutter, or at least ground coverage in a general way, to actually use a type of aircraft differently. So we had the frontline bombers, the tactical bombers. They have all sorts of names that could deal nuclear strike, and basically bomb a lot of things, just like the strategic bombers, but normally being faster and flying lower. They actually, in the 70s, actually add that to a very, maximum of that, they just put it to the max, that kind of concept. Flying really low to the ground, very fast as possible, and using the ground cover. Even the MiG-31, if you don't know, the MiG-31, one of the objectives with the MiG-25 upgrade, being the MiG-31, is that the MiG-25 had a really bad time trying to hit targets that were flying really low to the ground. So F-111s, Tornado IDSs, aircraft like that would be a real problem for the Soviet Union. And that's why the PESA radar was introduced. One of the reasons that why they added such a powerful radar for the MiG-31 was the ability to actually fire for very low targets, very low to the ground, I mean, right? And in the game, I think this is the future of the bombers. This is the only type of bomber that we will probably be able to have. These are very limited, to be honest, because after the Tornado IDS, for example, for the European countries, there isn't much else to be added. After the Mirage 2000D for the French, after the Su-24 with its variations of it be added, we only have the Su-34 that can be a interdictor kind of bomber. And for the US, the last one was basically the F-111, and later they added the B-1, right? So there isn't much else to be added. So yes, while it's kind of like problematic, right? It's kind of weird even to talk about like this. While at the same time, I think this is the future of bombers in War Thunder, and I think they do have a place. At the same time, we kind of don't. Because even those bombers that use the maximum of technology that they had in real life at that time to actually be able to deliver a payload of bombs to a specific place, flying really low, really fast with all sorts of technologies to do that, even with that, they're still quote-unquote dead on arrival. They are going to still suffer when they are added. When F-111 comes, you know, when Su-24 comes, they're both probably going to be as bad as the IDS is. Just like the Su-17s are kind of, you know, they're alright, but they're not that good, right? And there isn't much that we can do about it, to be honest. I think the only thing that we can actually wonder about is the addition of bigger maps, or not bigger per se, because I think the size of the normal maps right now, excluding the ECs, the Enduring Confrontation ones, they're pretty alright for RB. But the objectives are very limited. I already did a lot of videos talking about that, so I'm not gonna get too much into that. But yeah, we need more objectives. We need more spread out units, different types of objectives to do, anti-ship, anti-radiation, anything like that. Even if it's just against AI, it doesn't matter. These aircraft will need to have that to not be dead on arrival. If they don't do that, it will be dead on arrival. So, kind of a double standard, right? At the same time, they are very cool, very fun. They are the most modern type of bomber that we probably will see in the game. At the same time, of all those cool things, at the same time, it is kind of useless, barely usable, and it's just going to die a lot. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think it has a place in NRB, these aircraft? Do you think they need to be added? In my opinion, every single type of aircraft needs to be added. Even if it doesn't have a meta, it needs to be added. And of course, it can always be added in ground to be used in ground battles, right? It's not the most effective thing ever, but still it can be used. So I don't know, let me know in the comments if you think we have a place for these bombers in the future, or we need a change. And I think you will all agree that we need a change, but specifically in the maps and objectives. Maybe RB Enduring Confrontation should be back, and not those normal maps in RB, just actual Enduring Confrontation. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys, see ya.